How to make the Aviatrix hat. You will need one ball of merino number 5 yarn and size 19 20-inch knitting needles. We start with a slip knot. Then cast on the number of stitches specified in your pattern. You can use any cast on method. This one is called backward loop. And keep moving stitches along the needle. When you're done casting on, make sure you connect without a twist. Make sure all stitches look nice and even. If you have a twist like this, make sure to even it all out and connect your first round. Follow the pattern. You can also watch individual video lessons for knit and purl stitches if you're not familiar with them. So this is a purl, and this is going to be a knit. Don't forget to change the direction when alternating between knit and purl stitches. So that little tail end, it designates the beginning of every round. You can use it to know when you start the next round. And it's helpful when you're counting the rounds. So now we're starting on the next round. So we're getting close to the top of the hat. Again, use the tail end to count your rows. There are different ways you can do the counting, and you can refer to separate video lessons for that. So you don't count the cast on row, but count the strands of yarn following that. So every strand designates a round. So you count those strands all the way to the top to make sure you have the right number of rounds. And for your last round, we're going to knit 2 stitches together. So normally you insert the needle through 1 stitch, but for K2 together, you insert it through 2 stitches. Again, in, yarn over, pull it through both of them at the same time, and just keep going. And keep going all the way until you hit that tail end again. So again, it designates the beginning of every round. So we now know we're at the end. So here we're ready to cut the yarn. Just leave a few inches for your tail end. And what we're going to do now, we will thread that tail end through every stitch individually. So pick up that end and pull it through every stitch one by one and take it off the needle. If you were to just pull the needle out, the whole thing would unravel. So this way, all the stitches will stay on that piece of yarn. And keep going until you're done with every stitch. And when you are, all you have to do is just pull that yarn. So you just cinch it. And then just secure it to make sure that it doesn't unravel. And you can do like an extra knot there. And pull it tight. And then you can pull the tail end onto the inside of the hat. This is what it looks like inside. You don't need the tail end to be that long, so you can trim it. Just leave a couple inches. And then weave it in between the stitches. We're almost done. So now we just need to make ear flaps. So attach the yarn to the hat. You can just do it just by tying a knot, and at the end when you're done, you can weave it in. And make sure you go clockwise. It's very important that you go in the right direction. Insert the needle and pull the yarn through. Again, next stitch in, yarn over. So essentially what we're doing here, we're picking up the stitches off of the rim of the hat. And after that, well, here you can see if you were to do it in the wrong directions, you will see that seam. So this way, if you're going clockwise, there's going to be no seam. And now just follow the pattern. So your first row is going to be a purl row. And then just keep going all the rows as stated in the pattern. When you're at the end, don't cut the yarn. You just basically, if you have a crochet hook, you can switch to start using the crochet hook. You just need to have a few inches of a chain. So you don't really need a crochet hook. You can just keep doing the knit stitch. So knit one, switch the needles, knit one. So you're basically imitating a chain stitch with needles instead of a crochet hook. And then when you have enough length, you can make it longer if you want. So it's completely up to you. It's your design choice here. Now we can cut the yarn and secure it to make sure it doesn't unravel. We're going to repeat this for the second ear flap. So arrange the hat and just evenly, you can either count the stitches or just approximately figure out a place where the second one needs to go. Just make sure that they're nice and even. Attach the yarn and repeat exactly same thing for the second one. Pick up the stitches and repeat the pattern. Now we're ready to make pom-poms. Have a piece of cardboard about 3 by 5 inches and wrap the yarn around the short side. Wrap it about 20 times or so. Then cut a piece of yarn about 8 to 10 inches long and tie it in the middle. Make sure it's pretty tight, but be careful not to rip the yarn. You can tie it twice for security. And now with a pair of scissors, cut the loops. When you're done cutting the loops, just trim your pom-pom. Be careful not to cut yourself, go slow. And keep trimming until it looks nice and round. You will need to make 3 pom-poms total, 1 for each ear flap and 1 for the top of the hat. Try to make them same size, but if they're not, that's okay too. So here we have 2 smaller ones and 1 is slightly bigger. So the bigger one we will attach to the top of the hat. Tie it on the inside. You can weave in those ends or just tie it into a small bow. And here tie each pom-pom to the end of the chain. Make sure it's secure. You can tie a double knot and then just trim the ends. And then repeat for the second ear flap. So now we have all three pom-poms attached and you're done with your aviatrix hat.